אז ראשית בוקר אור לכל הצופים, חיבוקים, אהבה לתושבי הדרום. אין לכם מה לדאוג, עוד יום יומיים הכל ייגמר.
אללהו אכבר על אמריקה! אללהו אל-מוט לאמריקה!
Hamas, founded in 1988, is designated by the United States and European Union as a terrorist organization.
I used to be a lot more critical of Israel, and I used to believe there was a fairly simple two-state solution because I used to believe the Arabs were acting in good faith. I still want to believe that, but the evidence tells me I'd be a fool to believe it. Because I've seen that every concession Israel makes is met with more demands and more excuses not to negotiate. They could have had peace 10 times over if they wanted it, but they don't want peace, they want victory, and they won't be happy till Israel is wiped from the map. It's not about territory, and it certainly isn't about justice or human rights, because Arab societies don't know the meaning of those words. It's about Jew hatred, as mandated by the Quran, and as preached in the mosques and taught to the children in Arab countries day in and day out, generation after poisoned generation. The Arabs don't hate Jews because of Israel, they hate Israel because of Jews, and they attacked with the intention of wiping it from the map and of committing genocide. But they failed because the Jews had a bit more steel in their blood than the Arabs had bargained for. And who could be surprised after what they'd been through and after seeing how the rest of the world had responded to their plight? Large numbers of Jews could have escaped the Nazis if they'd had somewhere else to go, but other countries wouldn't let them in. So who can blame the Israelis today for defending themselves as if they mean it, when they know they're dealing with people they know they can't trust and who they know hate them enough to want to exterminate them as a people? Anybody else in their situation would behave the same way. I know I would, and I wouldn't apologize for it. Israel is surrounded by enemies. Peace is more in their interest than in anyone else's, which is why they keep making concessions. But it's not in the interest of the Palestinian leadership. Peace is the last thing they want. They need to keep the pot boiling. They need to keep their people angry and resentful and hating Jews. Peace would ruin everything because they won't be happy until Israel is wiped from the map and the Jews have been driven into the sea. And all you good-hearted Western liberals who keep banging the drum for the poor Palestinians, I sympathize with you because you're doing it for the right reason. But you're being used and exploited, just as the people in the West Bank and Gaza are being exploited by people who have no intention of negotiating peace because they're driven primarily by crude, irrational religious hatred. When you protest for Palestine, you know you'll be in the company of people calling for Jews to be gassed. Do you think that's an accident? You're dealing with something here beyond politics and beyond reason, something truly ugly that drives a spike through all your cozy left-right assumptions, and your naivety is helping to stoke it like bellows to a fire. The world needs to stop pretending that Palestine is about justice and human rights and have the moral courage to call this thing what it is, to put a stop to this charade, this endless dance around a non-existent negotiating table. We need to do the Arabs a huge favour and tell them the truth they so badly need to hear, that their hatred is the cause of their misery. They've become prisoners of it. It has come to define their very identity. And until they can find a way to remove this ugly stain from their hearts, they'll always be chained to it, and they and their children will never be free. Arab Spring or no Arab Spring. Peace. How many wasted generations of hate do you think it'll take?
Despite the fact that Hamas operates from civilian areas, the IDF has consistently taken measures to minimize casualties to innocent bystanders by placing phone calls, recorded warnings, and leaflets, all intended to alert civilian bystanders. Deploying weapon systems which enable pinpoint accuracy in order to minimize collateral damage. Delaying ground and aerial strikes in populated areas, or even canceling them altogether whenever collateral damage to civilians is likely.
יכול להיות שעכשיו אתה מרוצה, מר דניאל? מחקו את השכונה והרגו. אבל חבר הכנסת...
והרגישות של אחמד טיבי לאזרחים בצד ההוא, לא מצאתי אותה בצד הזה. וגם על צורך...
רוני,
עם אורן זריף, מגיע לשטח, נותן השפעה, מזיז את הטילים ימינה ושמאלה. ביחס, אני אומר את זה ברצינות, ביחס למה שכיפת ברזל עשתה, אני חושב שאני עשיתי לא פחות.
אורן זריף הודיע על התמודדותו על ראשות הממשלה לאחר שהקים מפלגה חדשה. אורן זריף נמצא איתנו באולפן, בוקר טוב לך אדוני המועמד הפוליטי החדש.
בוקר טוב.